give my vote.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Ryno.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Y'all, well, it might be some breaking news for you. Keegan Murray is listed as questionable for today against the Cavs. We are monitoring Underdog Fantasy and some other sources to see if that gets updated because the Cavs starting lineup is in. It will be Garland, Mitchell, Max Strus, Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. Hopefully the Kings will come up any minute. Kings, Cavs, you are the hardcore of hardcores if you are watching this show at 2:16 on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Northern California. Hope it's beautiful wherever you're at. We'll get you ready for it. Kings coming off of a very good scrimmage against the Hornets. Starters minutes were manageable, a little bit questionable about DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine playing a little bit into that fourth quarter. But otherwise, not a ton to pull from that one, other than the Kings are on a one-game winning streak, which we'll get to here in a few minutes. And if you are even more hardcore than hardcore, which means you're watching this right now, you're going to watch the Kings game, then get to Stockton after the Kings game, the Stockton Kings. Western Conference Finals against the Austin Spurs. I'll be down there covering that. My man Vladfather won a pair of tickets. Cristobal, dude, are you not on X? Cristobal, was trying to find you, bro. Had some ducats for you as well. So we'll get you next time. Maybe if they make it to the finals. BJ, winner of the courtside seat. He'll be with me tonight in Stockton as well. But get down there. Cheap tickets, $10. You can sit in the lower bowl. Building's going to be rocking. You're going to see some very familiar faces. Angeli was just a couple of seats down from me last game. I am almost sure Vivek will be there tonight if he is in town. So get to Stockton. Hey, can be your chance to boo Vivek if you want to. Who knows? But let's kick it off. Pregame show. Grant, Jerry coming up later. Grant wraps it up for you as well. Thanks for being here. Let's do it.
Late nights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings and
Kings fans, I'm telling you.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
Yeah!
That you win one of these two games. First night of a back-to-back tonight. Kings and the Cleveland Cavaliers coming up in just about 40 minutes. We get you all ready for that right here on If You Don't Like That. Remember, as I said, Jerry, Grant, halftime, talking about this one with you. And if you are you like a little action, you like to put some money down, never gamble more than you can afford to lose. 1-800-GAMBLER, which, by the way, is that enough? Especially when it's sped up to like 20 times speed. 1-800-GAMBLER. This much is centered around gambling these days. What I was going to say is our picks, whatever they are, go the opposite. We have been terrible as of late. Jerry and I picked Charlotte because we had been so wrong the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Grant brings you home tonight on the pregame show, on your postgame show, taking your calls. So make sure you join him for that. The Kings hold a 1-0 lead on the Cavaliers so far this season. Many say it was the best win of the year for the Kings. Here about it was during the last homestand. I kind of agree. It was a pretty strong win, 123 to I believe 118, 119. We'll look back at it in a second. Jason Anderson. Look at that. The Kings, although they are tied in the loss column, put this out after Dallas lost yesterday. The Kings have the slightest of advantages in percentage, and do not ask me how the heck that is calculated. I have no idea. Credit to Jason for calculating that. Keegan Murray, as we talked about, questionable. Maybe that will change. That will change at some point during our broadcast. We will keep an eye out for it as soon as it happens. These two guys for Cleveland, they are in. Dean Wade and Ty Jerome. Or I should say Dean Wade on track to play per underdog. So looks like Cleveland's going to have a full go of it. And it's all about this. It's all about the plan. It starts Tuesday, April 15th. That's where the Kings are likely to land. Some think that the Kings might not, could not, may not win another game from here on out. I think they'll definitely get one more. But I think if you're Doug Christie, this is the thing for me tonight. If it's out of hand, and I hate giving up. I don't like giving up. I don't live my life that way. But you've got to be strategic on what you go after. If this thing's out of hand mid-third quarter, I think you got to wave the white flag. Save the legs for tomorrow. You've got to save the legs for tomorrow. What you don't want to do is play your starters heavy minutes into a blowout and then roll them into Detroit. Because I actually think you have a better chance of beating Detroit tomorrow than you do Cleveland today. But that's just my opinion. Give me yours in the chat. Check in. Let me know where you're watching from. As I said, Stockton Kings, 6 o'clock tonight. Western Conference Finals against the Austin Spurs. It's going to be a fun time down there. If you're close, get down there. If you're like, Ryno, it's Stockton, I'm not going to Stockton. It ain't that part of Stockton. It's a left turn off of I-5, and you're at the arena 1 mile later. So looking forward to that. Let's do our check-ins. How the heck is everybody doing today? Appreciate you being here. What are your expectations for this one as we put up some notes and some stats for tonight? Might as well get through the chat. Huge game. Yeah, I guess. Every game's a big game. 5 left. Draft. We're already talking draft. Dennis, man. Look at Dennis, man. Kings fans need a pick. You need a pick. Okay. Go Cavs, Mar says. All right. Let's see. Fans, what's up? They don't want to break the addiction. What's the addiction? Yeah, Angeli was sitting near us, which, by the way, read 0 into that. 0. Absolutely 0. You know why? Because she was the co-GM, the GM of Stockton when some of that team was put together. You know who else was with her? Gabriel Harris, who is now the GM and was the acting GM after she resigned. And he's done an excellent job. So I don't put anything past that. And if Vivek was there tonight, of course Vivek's going to be there. Of course he would. He was last year at the Western Conference Finals because Stockton hosted this game last year as well. So I don't put much weight into it, but we'll see. Let's go Stockton. Yep. I don't know who's not on X. Some people do not like X, and I understand it. Oscar, what's up, dude? Need this win for sure. David, deep voice, guys. A little giggle at the end there makes me laugh every time. Huh? Not sure what you're talking about. Richard, my man, acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me.
Is there anyone on the injury report for us? Yes, there is. Mr. Keegan Murray, sore back. Let me tell you, by the way, this is not the game that you want to be without Keegan Murray. This is like the prototypical game that you would draft Keegan Murray to play in. So hopefully he's able to go. I know Dennis will probably beat me to it when there is a report saying whether or not he's going, but still nothing that I am seeing at this point. Oh yeah, the gambling ads for sure. No doubt. Can the Kings cover the 9.5? I do not give gambling advice, but if you said, Ryno, do you think the Kings will win or will lose by 10 or more, my answer would be yes. But you never know this team. That's what's so wild about it, right? This is the kind of game that they show up with their best basketball. I don't know. I go look at how they've been against the spread this year. I don't think they've been very good ATS at home because they're not a good home team. But I have no idea. They're a decent road team. Kings are. Can't complain with that or can't argue with that. Why is Stockton always better than the Kings? Well, a couple things. You got to realize it's a step below the NBA. So you got to put it in that context, right? But Stockton runs a consistent system that is built around pace. It's built around pressure. They seek out and they get people that fit that system, and they work really well with the Kings front office and coach. I thought there would be a little bit of a change, and I've noticed some changes with Stockton since Quentin Crawford took over for Lindsey Harding, who is the reigning. Well, maybe they've already named the. You know what? She is not the reigning. They named the new G League Coach of the Year. She was last year's G League Coach of the Year. Now on the Lakers staff. But I thought there'd be a little bit of change. Not so much. The guys are playing hard, and here's the X factor to it. Simply, Adrian. Yo, Adrian. I've never seen that movie, but I'm pretty sure that's from that movie. These are all guys fighting to get to the NBA. They're not just fighting to play for the Kings. They're fighting to get a job in the NBA. So every time they roll out, they're going to go balls to the wall. Period. End of story. And that's what that team does, man. They're just like John Elmore. If you saw John Elmore on the street and I'm like, that dude's a starter for the Stockton Kings, you'd be like, no way. Dude is he's a basketball player. It's not one thing that he does great. He does everything really well. And he's willing and able to throw it on the line. Mason Jones has really settled in down there. And oh yeah, you want to know one of the biggest reasons they've been so good? Scal Labissiere. And it's not because Scal's bringing 70 points a night. It's because of his commitment to that program to help those young guys get better. So that all in a nutshell is why you are seeing good things in Stockton. Excited to be down there today. But we are here to talk about the Kings. If you want to call the show, all you got to do is hit the link that's in the chat. We will take your call. We can also talk about last game if you want, the Hornets and the Kings. Any takeaways that you had from that one, we can hit them. Let me know. I mean, not much really here. Big second quarter was really good. The assist to turnover, that was good. Devin Carter, I have no issue with him fouling out in 14 minutes. Get that out of your system. You know, that is the one thing I probably take away from last game is that fine line between you always get that Rocky comment. You know what comes to mind before Rocky is the sandwich at Nugget that's called the Yo Adrian. Yo Adrian. They have a sandwich. It's like steak and blue cheese, all that good stuff on it. But yeah, so I would imagine with that name, Simply Adrian, yeah, you're going to get that a lot. But there's that fine line between making them feel you in aggressiveness and fouling. Devin Carter was just all over the map like Seabiscuit last game, but to be expected. He's been out for a while. He needed a little bit of a tune-up. Normally, if this wasn't 5 games away from the end of the season, he's probably getting a little bit of run in Stockton would be my guess before he gets ramped back up in Sacramento. But I want to see that same aggression tonight. You have to have that same aggression. In fact, I think you have just got to come out and throw your best hook in terms of physicality at these guys because they're that good. Cleveland, and they have been slipping as of late. For as good as we say they are, they have not been playing particularly great since their East Coast road trip. They've been 6-4 in the last 10. They've won 3 in a row as we speak. At home, they're 33-5. That's a pretty big number to overcome. But if the Kings come out and are able to play with pace and not turn the ball over, who knows? Anything can happen. Here's Doug Christie after last game. Oh, one last thing. Sorry, I just did the abrupt, like we hit a wall. Domantas Sabonis. I was surprised that he was not on the injury list. Good to see he wasn't. Looked like he kind of tweaked that ankle last game. But anyways, Doug Christie.
A total team effort. Love and respect the way that the guys came out after a really disappointing loss, one that, in many ways, a team can go the other way. And that's what talking and being about your teammates and loving your teammates and respecting them is all about. So a lot of love and respect for the way the guys came out and approached this game.
Doug, you talked a lot about the spirit in the beginning before the game started. Talk to us about that spirit and how you saw it turn around.
Well, I mean, first of all, part of what I'm about, which is going to be what my team is about, is making them feel us. We have to get up and touch people and be physical. That begins to set into the joy of what it is to compete and taking the joy from your opponent and then playing with joy. Jay Crowder gets in at the end and hits a 3 and the whole bench explodes. Like, those are the things that bond and bring them together. They need to support each other. We need to support them. And they did that this evening.
Domas and Zach both ended in the double-double.
Dennis, my man. Dennis, don't act like you knew that off the top of your head. You are...
What is that? Huh?
You might be trying a little too hard, Dennis. You might be trying a little too hard. Dennis, can you even pronounce that name? Call the show. I want to see if you can pronounce it. And don't listen to Google Assistant before. Do not pull a YouTube clip up. I want to see if you can pronounce that name. Back to Doug Christie.
Just talk about their performance.
If Domas plays more, he ends up with a triple-double. He never ceased to amaze me, man. Starting the game questionable.
Thanks, MC.
And always sacrificing his body, always sacrificing with his approach. And, we have to, as a team, as an organization, and our fan base, love him up for that. Zach, just want him to stay aggressive at all times. But the 10 rebounds, 25 points, those are huge. Like, when he's playing at that Zach LaVine aggressive level, it sets a tone for everybody. And then with Malik coming in, he only played 22 minutes, but what the gravity that he played with was felt tonight.
Devin only played 16 minutes, fouled out with 6, but he was a defensive pass. Just talk about his performance on defense.
Yeah, he was a defensive player of the game. Really.
What? Did I hear that right? That I did not know that. I'm sorry. I didn't go back and listen to Coach Christie's comments. Did I hear that right? Devin Carter was the defensive player of the game? 3 steals, 5 rebounds? Okay. All right. Only 1 turnover? Oh, that's the old one. Excuse me. No, I need the Hornets line. Devin Carter was the player of the game. Let me hash this out really quick. Devin Carter, we know he had 6 fouls. There he is. 1 assist, 1 turnover, 6 fouls, and he was the defensive player of the game? No, Doug didn't say that. Did he really say that? Hold on.
But he was a defensive pass. Just talk about his performance on defense.
Yeah, he was a defensive player of the game. Really happy to have him back.
Love it.
I'm about how he plays. He is going to get after people. He's going to put his body on the line and get out there, and we missed it and we need it. And he deserved the defensive player of the game because you have 6 for a reason, and he used them all. So really, really good for him.
How do you bottle up this joy and this energy?
I am so okay with that. Do you guys get why gals and guys get why Doug Christie made Devin Carter the defensive player of the game? It's because he just went out with aggressiveness. I'll never forget Ben Warthrop. Was it Warthrop? I think it was Warthrop. Ben Warthrop. He was on our team in college. He held the NCAA record. Somebody look this up. I'm serious. It's been broken since, but for a good, like 4 to, I want to say 10 years, he held the NCAA record for foul outs in the quickest amount of time. Quickest foul out. I think it was like 47 seconds. Dude fouled out. He was just sent out there to foul. But I get what Doug Christie's trying to get across. Reckless abandon, right? But if you're DeMar DeRozan, if you're, in this case, Keegan Murray, who is not playing tonight, but maybe saving him for tomorrow night, then, yeah, you're going to probably know that line between, my guess would be that line. Yes, we know Colby dropped 37. Dennis, man, just dropping as many basketball stats as he can. Love the love for the Stockton Kings too. Absolutely. You know what? I actually last year I was like, I was super excited, but it would have exceeded my expectations if they would have made the finals. This year, I feel different. I think that they should make the finals. They had the best home record in the league. And you're hosting this game at home. I don't know much about Austin. I do know this. Ty Washington is not going to be playing, which is a huge thing for the Stockton Kings. A positive Ty Washington with the Valley Suns. Oh my gosh. That guy is G League legit. He will, at some point when Phoenix pulls the trigger on their rebuild, he will probably be getting minutes, and you'll see his name from time to time coming out of Phoenix. All right, so here's where the Kings are at as we sit right now. Doug Christie, 24 and 22. Pace is the number to me, especially against Cleveland tonight, this afternoon. That is the number that's going to matter the most. Can the Kings really play at that frenetic pace? And now they are back to a positive 0.3 with their net rating, which is good because that's what the Kings did to Cleveland last time. They played at a frenetic pace. They played getting after loose balls. They played doing all those little things that I expect as a fan of Kings basketball. So it is, though, I got to say, think about how the Kings came out against Denver and Keegan wasn't playing and they just lobbed the ball just down low. DeMar was fronting Aaron Gordon and they just kept lobbing it. We saw it with Keon. Somebody picked me up in the chat where he was just getting the ball lobbed right over him. I think it was on this road trip. I want to say it was Orlando. Yes, it was on this road trip. So without Keegan Murray, I don't, it's going to be tough. Doug's going to have to get creative. I don't know if the starting lineup is out yet. Let's see, lineup alert. Here we go. Okay, so they're going to start Ellis, Levine, DeRozan, Lyles, and Sabonis. All right. I was almost of the mindset that you might be going double big today without Keegan Murray, but they're going to go Lyles in the starting lineup. So how do you feel about that? Ellis, Levine, DeRozan, Lyles, Sabonis. That's your starting 5. Cleveland, we all know they are one of the teams expected to make a deep playoff run, 39-9 in conference. Isn't that interesting? only 6 of their losses have come out of conference. There you go. The Kings are one of those 6 Western Conference teams that have beat them. Look, it's like watching when you watch Cleveland when they play at their best. You can almost put like some smooth jazz on behind you. You can almost put like some symphony music on behind, because they will have like zero, and I mean zero, wasted movement. Talk about a team that truly plays as one, 5 playing as one. Cleveland is usually that. You didn't get the full version of Cleveland in Sacramento. Darius Garland was not available for that game. So this is the full version of Cleveland that you will be getting tonight. Again, first night of a back-to-back. This is the second of 3 games in 4 nights to close out the trip for the Kings as we bring you back in. If you're just joining us, no Keegan Murray tonight. He is out with back soreness. Hopefully that is just a 1-game thing. You remember Keegan had that ankle soreness that kept him in and out of the lineup for about a week. Now he'll be missing time because of his back. I was surprised that, again, Sabonis was not listed somewhere with that ankle when he tweaked it again. Jason Anderson coming in to today. Good pull by Jason. Not sure how he calculated it, but he seems to have it right. Today, the Kings are slightly ahead of the Mavericks, even though the Mavericks have more wins. Now this time of year, look at the loss column. Do not look at the wins column. But by percentage, and I mean the slightest percentage, the Kings are ahead and in the 9 seed. No, Sabonis is playing. He's starting. No Keegan Murray. Did I say Sabonis? My bad. Look, I can't get mad at some people that are wanting this, but here's the thing. You're not guaranteed the pick. Like, the Kings would have to lose out. The Bulls would have to go into the tank. Like, there's a lot of things that go into that. So I think that you're going to be really sour as a Kings fan if you don't make the play-in and you still lose your pick. That's can you get more sour than that? Probably. Yeah. So no, Sabonis is fine, Dennis. Cleveland rocks. Dude, Dennis, I just click on a comment and it's you, man. You're everywhere. Scalp play. Okay. You still hadn't answered my question, Dennis. Can you pronounce the name you put in the chat earlier? You know the link. You can call. I want to hear you try to pronounce that. It's going to be like one of those spelling bee kids. Can I get the origin of the word? Can you please use the name in a sentence? Is that an adjective? Is that a verb?
Kabaragoya.
Kabaragoya. I knew it. I totally knew it.
That's Dennis. I know it. I totally know it, but I'm not going to call. Anyways, we're having some fun on this one. Getting you all ready. Seriously, which way are you going on this? Do you think this is a competitive game? What do you realistically want to come from this game? Realistically, knowing that a win would be completely overachieving. Certainly, health is near the top of the list, especially now that you have Keegan Murray out. I wonder if that changes the line tonight. Let's see. Cleveland 9.5. Nope, still 9.5. But yeah, man, that's rough. And no Jake LaRavia, which we already knew about. That is going to be a tough uphill balance for this, or uphill climb for this team today. Athena, what's up? The link isn't working. Dennis, okay. The link is working. Let me put it back in the chat for you. If you make me do a new list. So you're going to try, Dennis?
Kabaragoya.
Kabaragoya. I knew it. I totally knew it.
The Cavs are going to kick your team's. Okay. All right, horse. Yes, I know that's from Drew Carey, dude. Come on. I know that. Tay, what's up? Donovan Mitchell is going to drop 50. I don't know. That's kind of the secret to their success. Cleveland's coach, Kenny Atkinson, he's like, yo, Donovan, I know you can drop 50, but I need you to be more in the 30 range and get the other guys going. And then just naturally, I'm going to go Doug Christie on you. The byproduct of that will be games where you do have 50, you do have 60. The byproducts will be winning. It's worked. They literally had that conversation in the offseason. That was one of the first conversations Kenny Atkinson had when he became the head coach of the Cavs. And that was a whole thing, right? Because Baker's staff got fired and they're like, why are they firing him? Are they going to keep Jared Allen? And all of a sudden, this Cavs team just comes out of nowhere. Nobody expected it. It's like, okay, all right. You know, they'll fall off after the first 20 games. Oh, yeah. They're not going to. Yeah, it's not going to stay. What do you know? They're the first team to 50 wins. I think the stat was they're amongst three teams to get 50 wins by the 60th game of the season. That's crazy. So speaking of the Cavs, what do they do well? Everything. Seriously. They do everything well. They shoot the three ball particularly well. That's going to be the number one thing you hear tonight. When Mark Jones kicks it to Katie Christensen, actually, Mark might be doing ESPN games. Hopefully it's Drapes. Love Drapes. But you're going to hear, you got to run them off the 3-point line. And then the next thing you're going to hear from Katie Christensen is a lot of threes mean a lot of long rebounds. So the Kings are going to have to get to 50-50 balls. They're going to have to play physical without fouling. They're going to have to box out. I mean, doesn't it really just kind of come down to that? I mean, I'm looking at the bottom of what Cleveland isn't very good at. They're not very good at minutes played. Interesting. Wonder how that is. Maybe they've played less games than other teams. 2-point attempts. Okay, here's a positive. This is a positive. They give up the 7th most 2-point attempts in the NBA. Okay. Hey, we can live there. DeMar DeRozan loves the mid-range. I refuse to call it the midi committee. Oh, that's terrible. I can't stand that. Midi. When did a mid-range jumper become a midi? Anyways. So maybe a lot of 2s. All right. The Kings have look, actually, this is a point of contention that I have, and it could go either way when I say this. The last couple games, Sabonis has gotten off to hot starts. 2 games ago, Sabonis and JV got off against Washington. Both of them hot starts. One had scored 8 in a row or 9 in a row. The other scored 10 in a row for the Kings, and then the Kings completely went away. Watch what, and it might be different with Keegan Murray out tonight, but watch what Doug Christie does with his rotations in the second half. Here's the other thing to watch. He has been going with the hot hand in the starting lineup, and it fluctuates in the first quarter. So whoever he thinks has it going will play the entire first quarter if they're not in foul trouble. A couple of games ago, it was, who was it? It was DeRozan. And then last game, it was Zach LaVine. In past games, it had been Malik Monk when he was in the starting lineup. So see where that's going to go. But back to the big man, if the Kings are having success with Sabonis, having success with Valanciunas, keep feeding those guys. And conversely, if they're not having success, do not try to keep going over Cleveland's big men. Kick it out for the 3-ball. I know the 3-ball here is a very controversial thing to talk about. By the way, Phoenix is in action later. Actually, let's run this down. Yes, Phoenix is in action in New York here in a couple of hours. So you'll be scoreboard watching there a little bit. Right now, The Brooklyn Nets losing to the Toronto Raptors doesn't really mean much to us. But Kings, Cavs, Spurs, Blazers, Horses, Blazers playing at home here later. Nuggets in action. Rockets and Warriors. That should be a good game. Bulls, Hornets for those hoping that the Kings can retain their pick. That one is in the books. We talked about Kobe, 37 points. They won 131-117 over the Hornets. Other side of Cleveland, it does not show their entire stats. Number one in scoring per game, 122.2. The three-pointers we've already talked about. They are excellent at shooting the three ball. Anything else bad? Not really. 24th. Look at that. 24th. In any statistical category across the board, the worst is 24th. Meaning they are, in every statistical category, they are 8th or better in the NBA. Defending the other team. That's crazy. Crazy stuff. All right, let's get to some predictions. Which way you got this one going? Let me know. And again, don't forget, if you want to get a doubleheader in, go to Stockton. Go check out the Stockton Kings tonight, 6 o'clock. Wait, no, 5 o'clock. Is it 5 o'clock? I better check my pass really quick. Hold on. 6 o'clock. There we go. 6 o'clock in Stockton. Get down there. Go support them. It is a tremendous product. Western Conference Finals going on down in Stockton. And we're going to be getting your scores here in a minute. Follow my X feed tonight, by the way. I will be updating y'all on what's going on, what I'm hearing, seeing, because we'll be right there down by the bench. Not a better seat in the house where we will be at. And I can tell you, not a better place in Sacramento to grab brunch on the weekends. Bennett's Restaurants.com, American cooking, prime cuts of seafood and steak. Who was it the other day? DSC came in here educating us on redfish, giving us the breakdown. What did he say? It was like something Pacific snapper, something like that. Anyways, I'm getting off track. What you need to do is go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Check out all the different offerings that they have. We talk about the steak all the time, the seafood. I love their steak Cobb salad, but the brunch on the weekends, 11 to 2 p.m., all three locations, Rockland, Roseville, Howe, and Fair Oaks. Also on the weekends, including Friday, which that's like the biggest debate in my house, by the way. My son is 100% staunch in his corner that Friday after school, the weekend does not start then. The weekend starts Saturday. I'm like, no, dude, when you get out of school Friday, that's when the weekend starts. Either way, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they have prime rib during the evenings. Awesome deal there. Really good stuff. If you go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, you can see all the other great specials. You can also make reservations. Not too early to start thinking about Mother's Day. Also, Easter, that's coming up. So go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Huge thanks to Brian and the entire team, Margot, for sponsoring today's pregame show here on If You Don't Like That. Grant, Jerry, halftime, hopefully talking about a competitive game, and Grant will wrap you up tonight with the postgame show. All right, scores, predictions, last chance to get something in. Get something past me. Cavs 132-114. Pull the Drapes. If you make me pick between Drapes and Mark Jackson, this is a big Drapes house. I actually like Drapes a lot. There's like this thing going around since last season that Drapes and I don't like each other. Not true. We cool. Athena, good to see you here too. Cavs by 23. All right. Dennis. I got to read through all this Dennis. I don't bet. Okay, Haunted Horse taking over the chat, talking about betting. Hey, Horse, 1-800-GAMBLER, bro. Acknowledge that.
Acknowledge me.
I do not think I would be better than Draper. That is a completely different science. I can't even put myself in that world. I think look, for me, and I'm not even going to get into the off the court stuff with Mark Jones. This dude tries to be fake Sacramento. Like he's one of you. He loves the Kings. Dude's pulling a paycheck. Dude's on autopilot when he's calling these games. At least Drape has invested in you all. And has entrenched himself in everything Sacramento. I'll take Drapes any day of the week. Just saying. All right. Let's see. My Kings could make 27 threes and win. They could. Anything could happen. Literally anything could happen. But the thing I'm hanging my hat on tonight, everybody's saying Cavs win. The thing I'm hanging my hat on is if the Kings, and I know a lot of you are not going to like this, but if the Kings are getting killed and we're at like the second timeout of the third quarter, probably be the second timeout, a quick one from Doug, I'm pulling my guys. I'm saving them for tomorrow in Detroit. If it's a competitive game, then you play to win. Hey, you play to win the game. But if it's not competitive, maybe I pulled the McDermott alarm. And if that doesn't work, I'm getting my guys out halfway through the third. I'm not having a starter play over 26 minutes. That would be my thing. That's not usually Doug's thing. But with no Keegan Murray too, it's a big ask tonight, but hey, the Kings have surprised us before. What's that, Coach?
You play to win the game.
I know you play to win the game. Isn't it scary down there? Car break-ins? Are you guys talking? No, it's not that part of Stockton, y'all. It is not that part of Stockton. It is one left turn off of I-5. You drive straight and you are in the parking garage. The parking garage is on your right. It's a beautiful, nice arena that's right next to the Stockton Ports baseball facility, their stadium. It's not that part of Stockton. Come on, y'all. Not that part of Stockton. Mike, Kings won. Dang, you're going to say the Cleveland the Kings hold the Cavs 14 points under their season average per game? Interesting. All right. I guess we'll end on some positivity. King Edward. We have royalty in the house. Kings 120. Cavs 116. All right. I see y'all. All right. Well, we are out. I am out of time. Go enjoy the game. And don't forget, either tune in on ESPNU or get to Stockton if you can. Support the Stockton Kings tonight. Western Conference Finals. It's again a great product, a cheap ticket. If you're taking your kids and they're basketball fans, they're gonna see players they recognize. They will definitely see Kings personalities that they will recognize, and most of them will be accessible. So go have a good time. Go have a good time and support this team. They deserve it. But as for us, we out. Go enjoy the first half of this one. I am out for the rest of the night on the channel, but you're in great hands. Grant and Jerry come back at the half to break down the first 24 minutes of basketball. Go Kings. Light the beam. Enjoy first half from Cleveland.